Hello, everybody, and welcome to HTC Invitational. My name is Nimsh, and I'm joined here by Monk, my co-host, and we are watching a very nice tournament, expecting Tides of Time versus Zalae next. Monk, what do you know about those guys?
Yeah, it's kind of a very similar matchup to Strifeco versus Dog, where we have again four American players. Of course, Tides of Time and Zalae, both from America, and it's going to be more of like a battle of the old school versus the battle of like the newcomers. Tides of Time, of course, was one of the best players of 2014, winning the Chinese WEC tournament and winning just a lot of tournaments all over the place. He's just really dominant there, but unfortunately, he's kind of taken a break with Hearthstone in the beginning of this year. But he's come back like fairly strong even by winning the Kingwin Eastern tournament earlier last month, I believe. Meanwhile,
Oh yeah.
Zalae, he wasn't really around in 2014, but in 2015, he's been pretty hot, winning the Amazon BlackRock tournament and just doing well in ESL Legendary Series overall, even getting Archon to pick him up.
Oh yeah, because again, we are going to see Cloud9 versus Team Archon. Like Cloud9 won, far about lost to Colento, but maybe now Team Archon will be able to take this game versus Tides of Time. But as you said, Tides of Time is coming strong, and he is one of those players who's bringing those wacky decks, kind of like he is a great deck builder, and he is bringing he's testing cards that are actually weird to some people. Like we've seen him playing Dragon Hunter that I mentioned before. We've seen him playing Mildred with Poison Seeds, like actually winning the tournament with the deck as well. So he was one of the first guys to utilize Malygos back in the day. When the card was not used by anyone, he was a designer of Malygos Druid. So I'm expecting a lot of good stuff from Tides. But then, what do we know about Zalae and his deck building skills and the lineups that he's
Yeah.
bringing?
Yeah, both players are actually very well known for their deck building skills. For example, yeah, like you said, like Tides of Time, he won the Kingwin for Charity Easter tournament with Volcanic Lumberer Druid, right? Who plays that? Zalae at the same
Yeah.
time, he's known for making Frothing Berserker mid-range warrior that Orange used to win ESL Katowice. He's known for making the kind of the OTK Warlock with Arcane Golem Power Overwhelming that he used to win ESL Legendary Series. And most recently, he's known for actually playing this kind of value grindy mage that has Ysera and Duplicate in it. So definitely like very strong deck builders from both of these players are.
All right, and game number one is ready. Hunter versus Warrior, Zalae versus Tides of Time, Team Archon versus Cloud9. Same lineup. That's the lineup we know and love. Hunter, Warlock, Warrior.
Yeah. We hyped up these players' deck building skills, but it turns out that these two players will be bringing like the most standard decks possible right now.
Cookie cutters.
The most the cookie cutters essentially.
All right, so here Zalae playing the Hunter, probably the hybrids we can see for looking at the Leper Gnome and Freezing Trap. And for Tides of Time, we have the Warrior, which is Control Warrior. Looking at Shield Slam, I've seen a lot of Shield Slam Shield Slams in my life, and I can tell you this is the Control one. Even though it might be similar to Green Patron.
Yeah,
but I don't think
like
Green Patron is playing that card.
the first Grim Patron builds, especially from the Chinese server, actually included Shield Slam and Shield Block, but I don't think any modern Grim Patron deck runs any of those two cards. So Tides of Time testing for Explosive Trap there, and now I think he kind of knows that, of course he knows it's either Snake Trap or Freezing Trap, and I would probably expect Freezing Trap from Tides of Time. Or rather, Tides of Time should expect Freezing Trap because it's the most common trap. We do see indeed it is Freezing Trap because the Freezing Trap in Zalae's hand is actually grayed out as well.
Do you remember, because Tides of Time is actually playing this Tides of Time Warrior, and we've seen it a couple of times before, where he is running dragons and he's running Revenge, I believe. The warrior card deals X amount of damage when you are like 15 health or less.
Yeah. Well, Tides of Time is kind of known for playing like all the different warrior cards. Like when what's it called? When GVG first came out, he actually used Crush in his decks, a card that like pretty much no one else has used to date. Many people don't know this, but back in like the day, back in very early 2014, everyone was really hyping Kit Kats as like the warrior god, but Tides of Time was really up there with him, like being like the top 2 warrior players of that era.
Oh yeah, definitely. He was the one swapping Ragnar's with Leroy and just always innovating and trying to search for the cards that fit the warrior build. All right, but here, just facing those, so Zalae facing the weapon, really tough spots. Like whatever he plays is going to die. Not really having much pressure, not getting that high main, but it's only turn 4. So maybe playing Juggler to bait out the Death Spite, because if he doesn't play anything, Tides of Time doesn't really have to attack. Oh, now he can with the second Death Spite. So looking good for Tides. Safe and secure.
With a Sludge Belcher into a Shield Maiden follow-up and with weapons for days, I think you're going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, like Zalae's hand is not great. He's basically being stopped. Like Tides basically left his PC. He knows he's so safe with the Sludge Belcher. Even if he misses a couple of turns, he's still going to be good.
Yeah. He's that confident.
Yes.
But I don't know, Tides. You're still playing a Hunter, and from what I hear, Hunters are pretty good.
All right, there is a Blackwing Corruptor, by the way. So this seems like a standard Tides warrior that I believe we've seen at NVIDIA tournaments. And to tell you more about this deck, it's running some dragons. I believe there is Nefarian, there is that Revenge. There might be also the dragon that... how is the dragon called that is cheaper whenever minions die?
Volcanic Drake, I believe.
Volcanic Drake, yeah. I think Volcanic Drake is also on this build, but maybe he tweaked it a bit.
Yeah, very very interesting. Like running Volcanic Drake and Warrior. I can't imagine anyone doing that, to be honest. But I guess it makes sense because you might be running Revenge or Whirlwind.
Yeah. But now Corruptor is just Toll Strider. A worse Toll Strider.
It's worse because, yeah, it's not a beast. But maybe it's better because it doesn't get sniped by Hemet Nissingway.
True. You're not able to kill it with those cards. But then Tides of Time is already at 18, and that Leopardome is threatening 2 points of damage when it explodes and poisons you.
But you know what? Tide still has a lot of good answers. He has the Shield Maiden, and then he can actually force his Shield Maiden to be bounced back in his hand. So it's a potential of 10 armor to be gained just from that one Shield Maiden alone.
Yeah. His situation is so great that even if Zalae would have a high main right now, Tides would not be phased by the high main. He would be able to clear that with a simple like shield block after Shield Maiden, attack one of the hyenas. Not attack with the Sludge Belcher, but Sludge Belcher just sitting there is saving him so much health.
Yeah, Zalae, I feel like Zalae actually just has to deal with this Sludge Belcher at this point. How does he do so? With a quick shot, with a bow, or maybe just giving up the Leopardome altogether? It's an interesting line of play.
Yeah, he's just hoping to utilize that freezing trap because he has a second freezing trap in his hand. But the longer the game goes, the more it will favor Tides of Time, especially with Shield Maiden. Just getting Shield Maiden back and just healing for 5. With Mad Scientist kill, Tides knows that there is no explosive trap in the deck. That there's only this one trap that's probably freezing. Did he test versus Snake? Like, he did attack face, so he knows this is not explosive trap.
Yeah, no, I don't... He hasn't tested for Snake yet. He can... Yeah, just because, like, freezing is so common these days in decks, I think he can kind of assume that it's freezing. Oh my god.
Man.
What is that card? A Cro-Magnus?
Yeah, this is Tides of Time Warrior, and this is actually a real deck. He's playing it in tournaments. And that's wonderful. I love it. This is the warrior, dragon warrior.
Yeah, certainly. I It's a toss-up between Tides of Time's Warrior or Firebat's Paladin for like the most creative deck so far in this tournament.
I believe he's also running Hearthstone Jones, and I've seen him follow up with Hearthstone Jones after Chromagus to fill the full hand. But yeah, any kind of draw of Chromagus is amazing anyway. So what's the line of play here? You can obviously shield slam the high main. You can attack with one of the minions, return it to hand. If you want more life, and I believe you do, you will attack with the Shield Maiden and return it to your hand. And you can just play, yeah, just kill one of the minions here.
Pretty sick, I'd say.
You might also pass. Never attack. Alright, he's going for the secret here. Yep, just securing a nice taunt. 5-4. That Chromagus draw was actually amazing. To enable the 5-4.
Exactly. And now, like, Zalae is kind of in a very similar position. Like, again, this Sledge Belcher is just so annoying. Definitely, like, the MVP card of Tides of Time's deck right now. Because it's pretty much been blocking Zalae from going face for the last 3 or 4 turns.
Also, Zalae got information that there is a dragon in Tides of Time hands. So, he might be assuming Alexstrasza. Like, most of the Dragon Warriors, they run Alexstrasza, Ysera, and Nefarian. At least the build that's popular. But if Zalae did research Tides, Tides was playing this exact deck twice, and that was broadcasted twice. So there was information.
Archon definitely seems to be a team that does a lot of research because, after all, they are living in one house together just to play and practice Hearthstone. So it definitely makes sense that they take this game very seriously.
Alright. Look at that. Just returning that Corruptor to hand is never good. Like, you know it's going to deal 3 points of damage again. Oh, another one.
I can take the hit.
He can return Shield Maiden again. This is so crazy. Do you kill command the Shield Maiden here?
Oh my god. I mean, it's kind of the equivalent of doing 5 damage to your opponent, right? Because it's 5 less armor that your opponent could gain.
Yeah.
So I guess I wouldn't mind it.
Or you can also go for face with everything. Which is how much damage? Oh, alright. He heal commanded Shield Maiden, so that was the correct move there. Volcanic Drake. Oh, yeah.
So we can see like a 4 mana Volcanic Drake here. I guess that's okay, but I think I'd prefer Cro-Magnus here, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems much better. Or just Corruptor into Volcanic Drake to bring more power to the board. No, I'm not sure about... Wait, alright, so Hunter is at 17. Can you ensure lethal next turn? This is 14, this is 10, this is... Yeah, this is lethal next turn. So
Okay.
Zalae, instead of going for face, will have to start trading. This is... well, considering Freezing Trap, it's not lethal, but if there's a weapon... No, with weapon this is lethal, because this is exactly 14 points of damage with Fireworks and attacking with one of the 5-3s.
Yeah, even if he didn't have the Fire War Axe, he could bounce one of the Drakes back, or one of the Blackwing Corruptors back,
Yeah,
and
then
then
replay it.
deal 3 damage to the opponent's face. I think we might see a full board, or like an attempt at a full board clear here, with Wolf Rider going to the Drake and then quick-shotting the 3 HP
5/3.
black... Yeah, the 5/3 essentially. Oh, and
Alright.
he kind of gets rewarded with Wolf Rider. But maybe you just Wolf, or maybe you just Hero Power here. Okay, wow.
Alright, so he's going for... So is this enough? This is not enough, I believe. This is 12 points of damage. but he can secure a very good board position. Zalae will have 8 points of damage, so he needs 5 more. And a 5 more is a Leroy. That's a quick shot into something. Juggler is not it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Tides will be able to take game 1 with his pretty awesome Dragon Warrior deck.
Oh man, I'm so excited about this Dragon Warrior. He didn't play Chromagus, but still, those Corruptors, they did a lot of work. And Volcanic Drake, is it?
Yeah,
it's called Volcanic Drake, right? Like, I haven't been casting that Drake that much. Like, people don't play it that often.
Yeah, you haven't casted enough Tides of Times games, I guess. But yeah, it's called Volcanic Drake, and that's probably like the one of the only times we'll see Volcanic Drake being used in a competitive tournament.
You are saying that, but I've seen Tides playing it in a Hunter as well, so I hope he's playing Volcanic Drake Hunter as well. Alright, so that's the time. Taking game number 1 versus LA with his Dragon Warrior. What do you think, Monk?
I think maybe he's just looking at this card, he's like, oh my god, this card is busted. I should just put it in every deck. And if he wins this tournament with 6 Volcanic Drakes, we might just be seeing a huge change in the metagame.
Well, he won one with Lumberer, so if he takes another one with Volcanic Drakes, you know, it's possible.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
We have to remind you guys that, of course, you can win some pretty awesome swag if you just tweet with the hashtag HTC Esports. You can win one of 12 team shirts, one of 2 tablets, and perhaps even your own HTC phone. Oh my god, look at this.
I've seen this before. This is the Murloc Warlock. Oh my god, he's playing the exact same lineup as before. And this is actually crazy. How do you even play it? So this Warlock Murloc, it's super bursty. It's like, it has so much burst. It's running like, I think even Soulfires, but Dark Bombs, Power Overwhelming, Soulfires, Leroy, Monk. There's lots of burst. And Zalae just picks up the Hunter again.
Wow, I'm becoming such a fan of Tides. You're my new favorite player because he brings such interesting deck choices to tournaments, and it's just always a pleasure to watch him, no matter what he's playing.
Yeah, certainly. And being an opponent for Tides, it's so difficult because you have to prepare versus the whole tournament. Like, you can't bring decks versus Tides of Time only. You have to bring decks versus standard lineup, so you have to expect a lot of Zoo, you have to expect Green Patron, but then round 1, you face Tides of Time, who's bringing a Dragon Warrior, which is totally different with Revenge, like Chromagus and Volcanic Drakes, and then he brings a Murloc Zoo, and the third deck, I really hope this is the Volcanic Drake Hunter.
What is this? Young Priestess. This is a deck from 2013.
Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is the same stuff. Young Priestess is very good. Working for him here. Dark Bomb is only Invader from the future. It's this deck is 2 years old, Monk. 2 years ago, Hearthstone Beta, you were still a toddler. I remember. We still had milk under our noses. We were playing those decks. OTK Alexstrasza, Murloc Warlock. You remember being baby Monk playing Murlocs?
Yeah, I definitely remember those days very fondly as I was a wee kid. And unfortunately for Tides of Time, like, this board can get fairly punished with a Knife Juggler into Leopardome or an Eagle Horn Bow. Just a lot of options for Zalae.
Yeah, but it's still weird because what do you kill? Like, there are 2 priority targets. You want to kill the Knife Juggler, you want to kill the Tide Caller, I believe. No, this is Tide Hunter. Or Tide Caller. The one free Murloc that grows.
Out of anyone, I would expect you to know the Murloc names because number 1, you are the master of Warcraft lore. And number 2, you really like to play these Murloc decks back in the day, right? Back when the ESGN days.
Alright, so I believe this is the Tide Hunter because the Tide Caller... Wait, this is the Tide... Okay, I'm confused. I don't know, guys. The chat has to help me. If you guys know how this Murloc is being called, tweet it at HTC Esports and tell us what the Murloc is. Okay, you do buff that. Cold Light Seer. So for Tides, the hand doesn't seem that great, but it's a Warlock, so he will be able to draw more cards with hero power. For Zalae, though, he knows that he's facing Murloc, so he's thinking, is this real? Am I really in a tournament with $5,000 prize pool against all those top players? Or am I still dreaming? Is it a nightmare and I'm going to wake up and they are going to call me that I'm late to tournament and I need to play versus Tides of Time?
And I forgot my pants at home.
Yeah. No pants in the team house.
So Zalae can actually kind of deal with this board fairly well by just attacking the 2/3 and then setting up a freezing trap for instance.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is kind of the issue with Murloc decks in that like they really tend to snowball a lot. But if you can't get the snowball up, then you're gonna be like in a really bad position because you basically need a board with Murlocs in order to buff them very effectively.
But on the other hand, for Conquest, you just need to snowball once with the deck, and then when you snowball once, you have a kill, and you're looking good. Is he going to attack? No reason there. There is two. I think there are two charge minions in the deck: a Leroy and Old Murkai.
Okay.
Not sure if he's running Doomguard. Doomguard in the old Murloc deck, Doomguard was a good card to have, but he might have swapped Doomguard for something else.
So do you actually kill command this Tide Caller here? I guess you develop your board more. Okay, this is fair.
Yeah. I think like both targets are good. Good targets. All right, so Tide Hunter is the 2/1. This will be the Tide Caller, I believe. All right, you can buff your Murloc now, and you can go face, or you can start trading. You can tap first as well. I think tapping is fine here. It's more about board now.
Yeah, this Flame Imp I think is actually never going to get played once again because you probably don't want to deal 3 damage to yourself against a Hunter player. So we might just see it get used for fodder as a discard for Soulfire. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, there we go.
Alright, he's going for the Soulfire. Not attacking first.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's such a horrible one.
Yeah.
It's so much attack.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if you go for face, your opponent will have to start trading into your stuff. So if there is no Unleash the Hounds, you're still in a pretty good situation. That's not Unleash, but it can change the board a bit. If there's a Leok... Oh, Leok will just grant a kill on a 4/5. But then again, it's a beast, so...
Misha would be good as well. The only bad one is Hover, ironically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome, Hover.
The one time you don't want Hover.
Yeah. So what do you do now? What's the sequence? Yeah, you want to kill the 4/5 for sure, because it grows, like... And Tides of Time is going to draw 2 cards. Basically, this situation, whatever happens, is still a situation that's fine for Tides of Time, because he has a lot of health, he has minions, and he will be able to tap now. And getting a Doomguard on top is amazing, 5/7. Getting Leroy a bit worse, but basically if he gets into some Murlocs, let's say Hunter into War Leader, that would be great. And he will be looking good. And Hunter is out of cards, almost.
I think you might actually attack the Hover into the 1/2 Murloc just to get more trades in and just to clear Murlocs off fully. Okay, so...
Or you might go for face.
I mean, that's definitely an option. Going for face is always an option, Dimsh. That's probably Hunter 101.
Yeah.
Apparently I missed that class.
Okay, there's a Tide Hunter, and I believe he has to tap. A chance of getting something great, like a War Leader, or even another Cold Light Seer to just to buff your stuff. How about your clears here? You will want to attack with a 2/1 into the 4/2. You will want to attack with a 4/1 into the 1 with the 1-2. And then you might just go for face with your guy. Okay, he decides not to tap and just raise with the big guy. How much damage?
my God.
This is 8, 10 points of damage. 13 points of damage. He's 1 damage off lethal.
So he has to draw into a Glaive Zuka, an Abusive Sergeant.
Abusive
another
Sergeant doesn't
quick
cut
shot.
it. He needs 3 damage for 2 mana.
That's pretty much Glaive Zuka, right?
Yes, Glaive Zuka cuts it. And that's the only card.
I guess you could actually just go for board control here.
Yeah, you do still have that quick shot, so... And I think you do have to kill both of the minions. You are possibly dead to Old Murkai and War Leader, right? Because then... Okay, so he's going for the clear. Is he still dead to Murkai War Leader? War Leader will have +3... This is 3 plus... Oh wait,
Oh
Leroy?
my God, Leroy Jenkins. But that's
so
not going
close.
to be good at all. That's completely useless.
Okay,
It's just
so...
going to give your opponent more attack. Like, it basically, how much damage does it put on the board? 5 damage. It gives your opponent 5 damage on board plus the hero power. That's exactly 7. So this Leroy is actually unplayable.
So if you kill the 1/1, leave the Leper Gnome on board, then Leper Gnome is going to do 4 damage plus 2. I think you might go for it. I mean, like, you don't tap. Okay, Flame will not do anything. So I was thinking, because right now it's lethal. Alright, it was lethal anyway. But if you want to play Leroy, you can go actually for not tapping, just killing the 1/1, leaving the Leper Gnome on board, and hope that your opponent will not have enough damage to kill you. And then you try to get a Soulfire, a Power Overwhelming, and finish them with Leroy next turn. And you still even can tap, because you will have 8 points of mana. So you can tap, you'll have 6, and you can draw into a Soulfire or a Power Overwhelming. He used 1 Soulfire, he had still double power, one Soulfire. But then again, Tides didn't see Abusive Sergeant. So in his eyes, it was what, like 5 points of damage? So he was killing the 1/1. There was 4 points of damage. So yeah, reasonable.
Either way, I think Tides had to get pretty lucky there to win a game. But unfortunately, he doesn't win with that Murloc Warlock. But we'll probably get to see it again from Tides, because I think it's probably certain that he might win a match with this Hunter, because, you know, it's a Hunter after all. And oh my God, it's Volcanic Drake Hunter. Yes.
So Tides brought the Volcanic Drake Warrior, Volcanic Drake Hunter, and the Murloc Warlock to HTC Invitational. Zalae running... Well, this is a pretty simple green patron, but he's running the Turboom, which is a card that goes in and out. Like, some people like it, some people don't. I think it's a pretty good card, and Green Patron Warrior. We've seen before Green Patron just running out of threats. When both patrons are dismantled, when Frauding Berserkers are out, there are not that many cards that can deal with the situation. And then Dr. Boom is just a great follow-up.
Yeah, Dr. Boom and Grom are two of the most controversial cards in Grim Patron Warrior. They're less combo-y, but like, sometimes they just feel a little clunky in your hand, because they kind of don't fit with the theme of the deck and just comboing your opponent out with the Grim Patron. But you know what? It's always nice to just have really nice threats.
Alright, so here, Animal Companion, Leok or Huffer will be great. That's a Misha and 1 arm. Oh, actually, you can still deal with that.
Pretty sick.
So Misha is fine, I guess. He'll probably prefer Huffer anyway. So maybe Misha was better than Leok then, because he hit with the knife. Double dogs.
I mean, Double Dogs is going to be pretty good with the Volcanic Drake. but at the same time, it's not going to be that great against a Grim Patron Warrior. That sometimes if they have Armor Smiths, they have Unstable Ghoul, so kind of a double-edged sword in that scenario.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cool tech, having Unleash the Hounds and Volcanic Drake. But on the other hand, it's not a deck you want to face with that tech.
Oh my god, Unleash the Hounds for 1 to a face. Sick.
Yeah, but that's such a weird play when you look from Zalae's perspective, right? It looks like a misplay because you think, hey, he could just hero power. Why would you unleash for 1?
Yeah, but as we can see from Tides of Time's hand, like that's probably a good choice. Oh my god, 2 quick shots in your hand. Definitely not what he needed.
Yeah, this is a bit unlucky for Tides.
There's like actually a lot of anti-synergy in his hand as well because you actually can't get the Volcanic Drake out until very late in the game.
Look at that, unleash for 1 again. Oh, Tides, just not respecting your own dogs. Leopardom doing so much work here.
Zalae definitely bring more of like a high curving Patron Warrior because he's bringing Sludge Belchers, he's bringing Grom, and we even saw Dr. Boom in this deck.
He also has Thalnos. Thalnos is pretty nice in the deck. You run so much like damage there with maybe he's running even Slam. Definitely Whirlwind.
Yeah, if you're running Thanos, like you're definitely seeing Whirlwinds, Inner Rages, and possibly Slams.
Alright.
Tides of Time just gives up.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But now Zalae has a Warlock, and have you seen that Warlock already?
Yeah. We haven't seen the Warlock, so it could be Handlock, it could be Zoo, but I'm probably leaning towards, I would say Handlock, because Zalae was actually known for playing a lot of Handlock in the ESL Legendary Series. So he might just be going back to his roots. And yes, indeed,
Alright.
it's going to be a Handlock with Acidic Swamp Ooze teched in, which is a card that's teched in mainly for Grim Patron Warriors, because it's so good at removing Death Spite. We saw Dog on stream in the past week. He's added Ooze to his Handlock deck. He's doing fairly well on ladder with it, so definitely a great tech choice, I would say, from Zalae. Definitely respect that.
Oh yeah, we definitely mentioned that before. Ooze and Harrison Jones are great deck cards to have in your decks. And wow, that Mountain Giant was important. So Zalae winning 2-1 versus Tides of Time. Can Tides take this game and tie it with his Warlock deck? Who do you think is favored here? You've mentioned before that mid-range hybrid Hunter is favored versus Handlock. Is it still true for the mid-range hybrid with Volcanic Drakes?
I mean, all bets are thrown out the window when Volcanic Drakes are involved, a card that we never see in tournaments. But I would have to probably say that Volcanic Drakes probably aren't that great against Handlock, because typically, like, the game plan of Volcanic Drake is you unleash the Hounds, for instance, you trade a lot of minions into your opponent's minions, and then you play Volcanic Drake. But the problem with that is Handlock probably won't be playing a lot of minions on a single turn, so Volcanic Drake, most oftentimes it'll just like be played as like a 5-drop or a 4-drop even.
Look at that, by the way. This board is unbearable. Double
Oh my
Misha.
god. Oh my god, Nimsh. Never change.
Oh, come on, it's cool.
I liked it. I liked it. I'm one of those people who actually like appreciate those jokes. That was a good one.
But it is good actually. Double 4/4. There was no Hellfire from Zalae, but if there was a Hellfire, this was more or less Hellfire resistant. So pretty good one. If he wants to trade in an 8/8, he can do it as well. But what do you think about that? Like attack the Giant twice and then just play Volcanic Drake for 4 mana. Just develop a 6/4.
It's possible, but I guess Tides is just really scared of a Shadow Flame if he just goes for perhaps just a standard play of playing the Pilot Shredder. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I like this. Go on.
Oh wow, this is bold.
Like,
this is like saying,
all
hey,
in here.
you have it. You either have it or you don't have it. All right, so Zalae at 6 points of health at turn 5. No Shadow Flame. No
Yeah.
Hellfire. Hellfire would not be that great anyway.
No Molten Giants.
If he uses the heal bot, he's going up to 14, kills one of the bursts, and there is 5, 7, 10, 12 points of damage on board visible. Alright, just taunting the giant then. Wait. This will be 4 here, 2 here. And
Oh, kill command.
That's it. Wow, okay. That was pretty sick. So Tides is going to take game number 4. Tides series versus Zalae. On the back of a bold decision to go for face and a kill command top deck. Well, but he's playing double kill command, a quick shot as well, so a pretty good decision that worked for him here. Game number 5. Game number 5. What do you say about that?
Once again, it's going to be game number 5, and it's going to be definitely an interesting matchup of the Murloc Warlock against the Handlock. It's a matchup that we certainly haven't seen ever since like the early
Beta?
2014. Okay, beta maybe.
Beta, basically beta.
Yeah,
So-
the Murlocs definitely add like an interesting perspective to the matchup, because if you can buff like a Murloc Tidecaller, for example, above 3 or 4 health, you can get it out of range of simple Hellfires.
Oh man, but there is a Hellfire already for Zalae. And by the way, Tides of Time taking us back in time to 2014 is actually amazing. He is Tides of Time. He's bringing back the past. I wonder if he is playing Iron Begal. Have we seen Iron Begals? Because those are amazing versus Handlock.
Yeah, they're so amazing that I've seen most players, they actually keep it in their opening hand against Handlock. In fact, Iron Begal is just so good against all types of Warlock, be it Zoo or Handlock. So no matter what deck you're playing, I can definitely see merit to just throwing that, or like not throwing that back into your deck in the mulligan screen.
Oh wow, look at that.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
actually the best possible start, because he will be able to escape the Hellfire range. And
It's
there
gonna be
is
sick.
no good way to deal with them. Like, I think this...
Wait a minute. This Ancient Watcher could change everything. If he
Yeah,
plays
Ancient
it now
Watcher did change everything, actually.
and then coins the Shadow Flame, that could be just amazing.
This is a tough call.
This is actually the turning point of the game. And oh my god,
He
he
didn't
goes
do
to the
it.
life tap. That
He
just
does
might
not
spell
respect the
doom for him.
damage. So what do you do now? You can't play the Belcher. Mortal Coil is suddenly dead. Ancient Watcher is okay, but now it can be dealt with because there's more Murlocs on the board. Silencing one of those Murlocs, it's not doing much. It's doing some things, but... Alright, so you still want to play the Ancient Watcher in Shadow Flame, but that's 6 points of mana, so you will be able to do it in 2 turns, and that might be too late. You might be dead. Hellfire is not doing anything yet. You might want to Hellfire next turn. So what you actually want to do here, you might coil one of the 2 4s, and then maybe silence the other to prepare yourself for a Hellfire coin Mortal Coil next turn. This is
Instead,
also an obvious play, but
Yeah.
okay, this will fail.
Yeah, failed pretty horribly. Zalae actually could have considered Hellfiring on this turn and double Mortal Coiling, but that gets punished by any sort of Murloc buffer or even sort of the Young Priestess.
Oh man, there's so much damage here. He is dropping down, and that second power of Whelming is also very important. Tides of Time will be able to draw 2 more cards. Even that Mortal Coil is nice.
Yeah, so Zalae here, he can Hellfire, coin out a Mortal Coil, possibly be drawn to a Molten Giant, and he would be in an okay position. But Tides of Time, he has a Power Overwhelming in his hand, and we know he probably runs a second power. He runs a lot of Shadow Flames, or rather Soul Fires.
Soulfires, Dark Bombs, Leroy.
Exactly.
Even with Old Murkai. So basically he will have 7 points of damage next turn if there is a Hellfire. Okay, Sludge Belcher. Juggler is not cutting it. If he taps into a Dark Bomb, is it enough to win here? Not really. If he taps into a Tide Hunter... Okay, Murloc is not doing much, but it's okay because he will be able to cycle one of the coils at least. So power a Priestess, kill Belcher, double coil the 1-2, and go for face with 7 points of damage.
So many possibilities.
Unfortunately, these Mortal Coils are kind of the worst card in your deck in this matchup. You just have very few opportunities to deal 1 damage to your opponent's minions.
Yeah. Unlucky for Tides that he didn't get a Murloc, because with those 2 Murlocs growing, with every Murloc being played, Defender of Argus is not really exciting here. But then it still looks good for Tides with the amount of burst. Is he thinking about playing around Molten Giants now?
Guess not. That's the wrong giant.
Yep, that's a blank. So if you use Hellfire here,
You're dead.
yeah, pretty much. So you silence one of the Murlocs, you coil the other. You coil the other first. Then you silence the second one, and there will be 6 points of damage incoming. You will have 2 points of mana, so you can taunt up the owl.
Yeah, taunting up an owl. It's probably
Can you
not going to do you any good against the second Mortal Coil in Tide's hand. Plus, he has like so many extra sources of damage with the Power Overwhelming and the Defender of Argus.
Imagine
So-
if Zalae had a coin and then just could Iron Beak coin Shadow Flame.
I think Zalae needs to coil into a Molten Giant. He needs definitely a Molten Giant in order to get back to this game.
I feel like Zalae didn't practice this matchup enough.
That's true. I guess the Archon team house, like, they need to do more Murloc Warlock training.
Oh yeah, certainly. Like, you know, because not playing the Ancient Watcher on 2 is kind of costing him this game, right? Like, this is the turn 1 and turn 2 Murloc, and we are at turn 5 and they're still alive. Oh, okay, one of them died. Oh, he top decked Molten Giants.
Yeah, as expected, of course. And now, I guess Zalae is kind of back in this game. Oh my
Well,
god,
he
that's a good one.
was. Yeah, he is kind of staying alive, I believe.
A Puddle Stomper even. That's actually the first time I've ever seen Puddle Stomper being used in a competitive deck outside of Neptulon.
Yeah, I can see that. Alright, so dealing with the Giant, dealing with the Owl, dealing 6 points of damage to the face. Murlocs are still there. Hellfire is online, but is it a good card? It's so close. He just needs Wait, did the Murloc attack? Not yet. Okay. Oh, he was thinking to clear. There isn't a second Iron Beak. There is that Belcher. Do you Hellfire? Like, are you forced to Hellfire? This is so dangerous, right?
I don't think you're forced to Hellfire. There's definitely the possibility of just Mortal Coiling and Sludge Belching here, which does seem a little safer.
So many possibilities.
But if there's an Iron Beak, you're dead. Not necessarily.
With the Hellfire play, though, it feels like you're not developing anything on this turn, or on that turn rather. So
You can
give your
develop Iron
opponent-
Beak. Come on.
Okay, I guess that's fair. Developing a huge 2/1 beast is going to be so threatening to a Warlock at 26 HP. No, we jest, but
Yeah, kind of.
this seems like the play.
Yeah, Sludge Belcher is the play, and you cross your fingers and hope there is no War Leader.
War Leader? Yeah.
Okay, this is not over yet, but wait, if the knife hits, okay, it doesn't matter. I think I'll tap here actually. Being Tides of Time, you can still tap. No, with a War Leader, you can easily deal with the Sludge Belcher. But on the other hand, you don't want to lose your War Leader. And definitely, you don't want to use double War Leader. Now, if you Defender of Argus, if you turn up the 3/2, make it a 4/3, kill the token. You've seen one Molten Giant, so you're less afraid of Shadow Flame Molten. Double Hellfire.
I think that's
Well, you
actually gonna be
silence
it.
one of the. You can still clear with the Iron Beak. So you silence the 6/4, you do Hellfire, and then you hope that the one and only card in Warlock's hand is Puddle Stomper.
Yeah.
And you hope that he's going to top deck another Puddle Stomper and tap into Young Priestess.
Yeah, but the problem there is there's just so many top decks the Warlock could get. You've already seen like Dark Bombs, Soulfires, Power Overwhelmings. And you don't even know that he has Leroy in his deck, which he does.
Yeah, Monk, but you have to play Hellfire. Look at this, like on Hellfire's art, there are Murlocs burning. This card was designed to burn Murlocs, to like bathe them in the Hellfire. So even if you're going to lose here, you will be the winner in our hearts because you burned the fish. Right?
I think Tiddler Celestial would definitely be very sad that you're making this speech.
Okay,
He's
because
a-
yes, a
he's a-
fish. Huh?
Yeah, he's a cute Murloc after all.
Alright, so Zalae tried to tap into a Molten Giant, I believe, for a better Shadow Flame, possibly. And Tides of Time is going to take game number 5 and take this match with his Murloc Warlock. I said it, Monk. I don't believe... if you tell me yesterday that I'm going to say that, hey, the Murloc Warlock is going to take the series, yo, I would not believe you.
I mean, when Tides of Time is playing, like anything is possible. He's definitely like out of every single competitive player, I think he brings like the most outlandish decks. He of course innovated Leroy Jenkins in Warrior. He innovated he was like the first competitive player ever to use Mind Control tech in a competitive format.
Yeah.
So definitely
in a
like
Paladin, I believe.
way out there in terms of deck choices, deck building. And like kudos for him because he can win with such creative decks in like such high stake tournaments. It's definitely very entertaining for all the viewers and even the casters.
Tides boys. But then again, Zalae putting up a great fight and keeping a straight face there, playing versus those decks, making good decisions. And, bringing solid decks as well. Like, Handlock is not easy to play, and he loves the deck. Then he's Hunter and I believe Warrior. Interesting Green Patron build as well. And it was really close. Like, at game 5, it could have gone either way. So props to Zalae. But Tides of Time is going to advance to tomorrow. And his opponent will be either Show or RDU. And Show RDU is our next match. So, guys, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Up next, Show versus RDU. Be right back.